Yeah, we're doing the business of the Philadelphia Phillies, kicking off a new installment on the program this offseason. The offseason, of course, combination of work and pleasure, as that little teaser just displayed. And if you're talking about the defending National League champion Phillies, there is no shortage of talking points here. How does a really good team get even better? Look, their front three in the starting rotation, really good. Back of the bullpen, really good. You could have this conversation about all 30. Shoring up the bench in the middle relief isn't that interesting to talk about because it applies to every team. So let's focus on the star power of the Phillies and if there's any wiggle room to add another mega contract. Let's talk about some of the outstanding financial commitments first. I think we have this built. Harper, of course, leads the list. He's going to be there through 2031 at a big price tag that's worth every cent. Next is Wheeler, Realmuto, Castellanos, and Schwarber. None of those are coming off the books anytime soon. Who's out there? Who could make the Phillies better based on need and based on who's next? First of all, let's talk about who's leaving. Eflin and Gibson from the pitching ranks, Hand and Robertson from the bullpen. Syndergaard was very valuable last year. I'm sure that they're kicking the tires on bringing him back. Knable's gone, and Gene Segura's deal has expired as well. So what do the Phillies need?
I can see all those guys coming back but Segura.
Well, based on who's leaving, you've got some starts to put back, even though Gibson wasn't really in the rotation down the stretch. We talk about everybody needing middle relief. What the Phillies could use is a middle infielder. They like Bryson Stott a lot, but is there the kind of financial flexibility there to land, say, a Trey Turner or one of the big four shortstops that's out there?
Trey Turner's a perfect fit. If they went and got him, I could see that happening if they want to spend the money. Because you can move Stott to second, and then you've got the shortstop coming in. I think that's he's going to fit in a lot of places, Trey Turner. And it kind of leads me, Matt, still in the Philly vein, but down this shortstop road, because I think people are missing what happened this year. The Astros let Correa go, who's in this list. Let him go because they knew what they had coming in Pena. We may not have known, but they knew. And they made this bold move, and he ends up being MVP and wins the World Series his rookie season. I'm telling you, the shortstops, we keep talking about all four, but I don't think it's going to be that clear cut they're all going to get big contracts because if you look at L.A., you got Gavin Lux who can move over to shortstop. So they're probably saying, you know what? He could be Pena for us. We don't need to worry about that. You start looking around, you start thinking about it. You go, who else did I write down here? I got Lux, I got Pena, Lux, and Grissom at the Braves. You start thinking about, okay, Dansby Swanson may end up leaving Atlanta. Well, Grissom came up and we saw what he can do. So he could be an impact player like Pena did. I think Pena opened a lot of people's eyes. Do I want to spend $300 million? Or do I want to go here with this young player? And I think there's some options here with some clubs that maybe force, maybe not as many big club market teams that we think are out there for those shortstops.
So circling back to the Phillies here, if they get into the market for one of these four veteran, superstar, big price tag shortstops, they might not land one, but my contention is that they're going to impact the shortstop market because we talked about this briefly last Monday. I think it starts with Bogaerts, whether or not he returns to the Red Sox. I think that's the first piece of business that gets done. If somebody wanted to jump out and offer Trey Turner a king's ransom to come join their ranks, somebody like the Phillies, that would make so much sense. Lengthen their lineup. Turner to the Phillies is something I can't get out of my brain because I think it's pretty appealing. The thing with Swanson, though, if we kind of broaden this discussion, is fascinating for me because, look, there's already this thing with Acuna and his camp making, I don't know if I'd call them claims, but there's a sentiment there that Dansby Swanson gets a preferential treatment in Atlanta. We'll leave it at that. If Acuna, who's sitting on his, club-friendly $100 million deal, sits on the sidelines and watches Dansby signed for 175 or north of 2, what's been created there in the room?
Yeah,
not going to be happy about that.
But at the end of the day, that's Acuna's fault.
It's not going to make it any better for his head.
It may not.
He's not going to be. He's not going to say, "I signed early. I got to be happy with that." He's not going to say that. He's going to say, "I'm better than Dansby Swanson, and I'm more important to the team winning than Dansby Swanson. I should be paid more." They're headed for a problem there, man.
Well, he's gonna have a problem regardless because they're gonna go get a shortstop. You know, and whether Grissom ends up being that guy, eventually, if Grissom plays, he's gonna make more. Acuna's deal is Acuna's deal. It's already being passed.
Got it.
J-Roll passed it in Seattle already. Rodriguez passed that. It's going to be passed.
I got it. But is he going to be happy with that?
Maybe not.
It's still, you know, Ricky Henderson was famous for complaining about his contract before the ink was even dry. He was claiming he wasn't paid enough.
You're right.
So the superstar mindset is such that you don't want anybody passing you.
The interesting people in this deal, I agree.
They're playing us off, by the way.
That's all right. Never mind.
Yeah,
it's Oscar music. Is the Phillies, because you look at Dombrowski's history, what he did in Detroit, what he's doing now.
We write checks.
Not afraid to do it.
He'll write some
Not
checks.
afraid.